Hey everybody, Tony D with a final hot take of the evening. Let's go through some news stories and call it a night. Smash like and subscribe, etc., etc. Don't forget, I got a Bitchute exclusive, Bitchute Rumble exclusive. Link in the description. Please check it out because it's all the forbidden news I can't talk about here. So, the theme of this, I think, is Democratic overreach, and it's already started. Here's the Daily Wire. What awful instincts? Buttigeig torched on social media for being open to taxing motorists per mile. This is something that's already happened. Yes. Places like Chicago, and I forget where else, but they're already starting to do this. What they want to do is put basically a barcode on your car. So whenever you pass a point, they read it, and then they charge you per mile. Yeah. Forget about driving on the open road. You're going to get a big bill at the end of the week because you drove on the road too much, and we have to fix it. And we have to pay corrupt officials in order to give our friends money to fix the roads that we may or may not fix and go wildly over budget as people rob us blind. I mean, anybody remember the dig in Boston? All these things go wildly over budget. The idea that these people would think they could do that, well, the technology is there, unfortunately. And now, of course, if the technology is there, we have to charge people per mile. What's a big deal? That makes sense. Yeah. For rich guys who don't care. They don't care about you. God. When people talk about Democrats and they propose stuff like this and it gets defended, you want to just bang your head against the wall. This is an idiotic idea. No, this should not happen. This isn't about taxing you per mile, which is already a bureaucratic nightmare, I can only imagine. You're going to have to spend money to collect the money, number one. Number two, they're just going to blow it. They're going to blow it on all kinds of things. Oh, the toll takers need a raise. Don't need toll takers anymore. Hate to tell you, but they're mostly out of a job. But because they have a very strong union in some places, good luck getting rid of them. And I don't want people to lose their jobs, but I don't want to pay a lot of money to cross a bridge. And that's what's happening. It hurts people. Okay? I've been poor enough to have gotten to a bridge and gone, oh my God, I don't think I have enough for toll. So, I mean, it's a problem. It constrains people's movements. And maybe that's the whole point. Unfortunately, these people are psychotic. They want to control everything because it's about money. Because once they control something, they can charge you. Pete Buttigieg isn't really interested, in my view, of fixing roads or anything like that. He wants to set this up because it'll be a little bit of money in his pocket. Somehow. Not directly. It's not going to be that crude, but it's going to be indirectly. It's going to benefit him and the party. What it's going to do is going to benefit the party because all those union jobs will be fed, and then the party will reward him for pushing this legislation. And they'll reward him with bigger and bigger positions, more and more money. That's how it works. They're coming for your guns. White House confirms Biden will sign gun control executive orders. Of course. It's the only way he could get it passed. And it's not really going to be passed. He's going to sign a bunch of executive orders, and then it'll go through the court system. And in the process, many people will end up either inconvenienced, thrown in jail, fined, arrested. Oh, but Biden doesn't care. He's so wonderful and safe. The doddering old man who's been in office, according to himself, 120 years. Senator Warren. Stacey Abrams is the rightful governor of Georgia. Just Why is it that Senator Warren can say stuff about elections, but I can't on YouTube? Why is it that she can state misinformation with no proof? Where's her proof? Where's her proof that the election was stolen from Stacey Abrams? Are the Democrats going to say every election they don't win is stolen from them? I think they pretty much do at this point. So, there's only one cure for this. The Democratic Party has to be pushed out of office. They do. They have to be politically punished severely. They cannot just be kicked out for 4 years. They have to go for many years. Gangster-like logic. North Korea rejects Biden's missile launch. Criticism points to Washington's own saber rattling. Well, great. Now the North Koreans are back where they were during the Obama administration. Good going, Biden. Trump had him tearing down the DMZ, coming to the table for peace talks. You got him launching missiles again. Congratulations. And where is the mainstream media to say, oh my God, it's World War III? No one's saying that about Biden. Here is a very strange story. This is from the Minnesota Supreme Court. Felony rape charge doesn't apply if the victim got drunk on her own. What the F, Minnesota court? That seems wildly inappropriate. I mean, that doesn't. I mean, look, if you're going out and getting drunk in dangerous places and expecting to be safe, I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying that's pretty stupid. It's just as stupid as, say, going into a bad neighborhood and, shouting racial slurs. That would be suicidal in some cases. And you couldn't blame what would happen to you. You'd have to blame some of what happened to you on you. But that being said, that's a different... Sexual assault is much different. That's a bit much, Minnesota Supreme Court. A bit much. Roll it back. Biden administration kicks off national vaccination outreach campaign. Oh, I'm sure this will work. Because, the Biden administration's been so effective up to now. Michigan GOP chair calls top Democratic women witches. Based. I don't know why he did that, but certainly Governor Whitmer qualifies, I think. But the GOP wants to soften up for a, quote, burning at the stake in 2022. Huh? Oh, that's NBC. They're talking about getting rid of the Republican Party like Biden wants to do, apparently. Jacob Blake sues Wisconsin police officer who shot him. I can't wait to hear that court case. Well, you see, Your Honor, when I went back to get the knife in my car to stab the police officer, I didn't expect he'd shoot me. I mean, I was all hepped up after committing an act of sexual violence. Or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the charge was, but I don't think he has much of a case here. Oh, man. So many stories I can't even talk about. That was quick. On Wednesday, Biden taps Kamala to fix his border. On Friday, Kamala's spokesperson says the VP is not doing the border. Well, that's weird. It's from the Gateway Pundit. The Biden administration doesn't know what it's doing. It really doesn't. I mean, they've got a doddering old man as its leader, and that's not good. And Otherwise, you got to do it by committee, and committees are not good. The committees, plus you have Biden. You know, it's not like he's invisible. They got to run things past him. If he says no, if you work things in committee and then you go up to Biden and say, "Oh, Mr. President, we all came up with a solution. It's this," and he goes, "No," then you got to go back and come up with something else. Global elite Prince Harry hired as misinformation czar to censor Americans' big league politics. That sounds a bit hyperbolic. I guess he got a gig at Facebook or something, but, you know, I don't really understand the fascination with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I mean, these guys are out of the royal family. Who cares what happens to them now? They're just two random rich people. Vaccine data suggests Biden equity goal remains elusive. Imagine my shock. Taxpayers stuck with the bill of $392.69 per person per night on hotels for illegals crossing the border. Also from the Gateway Pundit. Homeschooling doubled during the pandemic. U.S. Census surveys finds good. Homeschool your kids. The public schools, I don't think they're good anymore. I mean, I didn't think they were all that great when I was in them. But now, I mean, at least when I was in them, I think most of the people in that situation were well-meaning. And the country itself wasn't tearing itself apart. Now it seems like everybody's got an agenda, and they have no problem putting that agenda in the head of your kid. They really don't. I mean, you talk to these leftists now, you know, back in the day, they were all hippies, and they were like, oh, we want to just teach kids to be nice to each other and treat everybody equally. You'd be like, oh, yeah, that seems harmless enough. Now it's like, no, we have to actively be anti-racist, and we have to teach critical race theory, even if the parents object, because we know better. That's their attitude. Even if they don't explicitly say something like that, that seems to be their attitude on most things. No, we know better. And they're very arrogant, in my view, these teachers. They don't, they shouldn't be teaching that kind of stuff. They don't really do a good job teaching the stuff they do teach, in my opinion. Sesame Street, I forgot this on Hollywoke Hot Take. Sesame Street introduces 2 black Muppets. Makes 0 sense. The Muppets are all different crazy colors. They're blue and purple and red and green. And now you've introduced black characters like they're black. They're not. Muppets didn't have a race. They just didn't have a race. And now you've injected race into the Muppets. You've essentially ruined the Muppets. Because now, once you've introduced 2 black Muppets, you can pretty much write the rest. Now you're going to tell me the blue Muppet really is a white guy? And you're going to teach racial literacy to children now? No. It's official. You've ruined everything. Everything from my childhood ruined, except G.I. Joe, I guess, because you haven't gotten around to ruining that. And I don't mean, the Yo Joe from the 80s. I mean the G.I. Joe action toys and books that came with it back in the 70s. That's a little far back. I guess you haven't gotten around. Now maybe you'll ruin historical stuff that I like, sometime in the future. But man, the Muppets, Sesame Street, that's low. That's low, wokies. If it's in my power, yeah, I'll get you for that one. I'll get you. Bill Gates' world should be back to normal by end of 2022. Yeah, I'd like to believe that, Bill, but I'm not believing it from the rhetoric I'm hearing from these people. School board member faces recall after saying white supremacist ideology is behind reopening plans. Thanks. See, you see what you've done to people? You've made them absolutely insane. And now a lot of these people they're probably going to get fired. Midland, Texas residents furious as Biden administration houses over 500 migrants nearby. Yeah, I mean, like, if you got a small town and you jam 500 migrant camp in it, that's a lot of people to put in a small town. If you did it to my town has 1,900 people. That would be a jump of 20% in the population. Now, if you did it in New York City, no one would even notice. But Biden has no plan here. He just has no plan. Sixth Circuit Court, ATF cannot classify bump stocks as machine guns. Ha! So there's a victory. Why is this a story? Squirrel steals package from porch in Chicago. Okay. I guess the squirrels have realized that Amazon exists. I don't know. 19 senators at the border blast Biden, let the media see the tragedy. Will Biden see it? I don't know. I think he's out to lunch. I don't think it'll matter if he sees it. And, you know, obviously the press, this is WND. It's the only place I heard that covered the story. Maybe it'll be in the news tomorrow, but I doubt it. Joe Biden takes sixth weekend away from House in 9 weeks as president. Well, I mean, he's got to rest up. He had a big week with that press conference. He's probably totally scrambled. By the way, Trump had a response, and I got to find it sometime. I bet he just blasted Biden. Also, Ted Cruz apparently videotaped some coyotes bringing people across the border, and people are flipping out. I also can't wait to see that. Hopefully I can find it. Banned from YouTube. Surprise. Damning video details Tesla's full self-driving claims versus reality. Ooh, no, Elon. Don't tell me you've been exaggerating your self-driving cars. Taiwan reveals it's mass-producing long-range missiles that can hit mainland China. Well, that ought to solve the problem. Then maybe the Chinese won't invade after all. You give enough missiles to Taiwan, what are the Chinese going to do? Invade and get the crap bombed out of them? Of course, I gotta think, since Taiwan's kind of a small island, the Chinese could either bomb it quick enough that they won't be able to set off their missiles, or that since the missiles will be coming out of a concentrated area, the Chinese might be able to come up with a reasonable defense system for it. So, but it's interesting. I mean, if the Taiwanese can make that work, that would be a huge deterrent for the Chinese to come in. They would have to go about destroying Taiwan like they're destroying America. Effing weirdos. Southwest pilot caught on hot mic in expletive-filled rant about Bay Area. Why is this news? It's not like he made it racial. I mean, have you been to the Bay Area? It is full of effing weirdos. And you either embrace that or you don't, but so what? So what? That's about it. Here's one last one. Representative Byron Donalds rips Biden for invoking Jim Crow in filibuster debate, irresponsibly injecting race. Oh, good. Well, thank you for standing up for, I mean, he's a Republican, but the important thing is he is an African-American Republican. So good luck calling him out as a racist. We need more visible conservatives like this, just to sort of shut the left up and force them to go, to say their kooky nonsense about how black people have whiteness too. Let them die on that hill. Let them try to defend that, and watch their poll numbers plummet to nothing. So yeah, not a great news day. Not the worst I've seen, but not a great one. So hopefully we can get through the weekend without Biden doing something else stupid or falling down the stairs or whatever. But at this point, as I've said, I'd rather see Kamala just take over at this point. Just put her in already. Stop torturing us with this old man. Because at least Kamala against China probably would be something. And if Biden still has his marbles, she could always consult with him, but I don't think he does. And I really don't know what Kamala Harris's foreign policy is. I'm almost afraid to find out, but at least she'll appear stronger. And if the Chinese disrespect her, hopefully she'll get pissed off at him and do something other than say, "Oh, we're gonna have a strongly worded letter from the international community about why it's bad to torture people," like Biden does. I mean, that his speech, the fallout from the speech is epic. I mean, people are still talking about that speech and just how awful it was, just how awful and terrible it was. And the people defending him, I mean, the Lotus Eaters today had a really good breakdown of it. Some of the people defending Biden were just ridiculous. Anyhow, I'm starting to fade and I'm running out of iced tea, so I got to call it a night. Little Joan and I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the Bitchute Rumble exclusive. See you next time.